Well, for more on this, let's bring in Patrice Lee-Onwuka, Senior Policy Analyst at the Independent Women's Forum, and Robin Biro, former Obama Campaign Regional Field Director. Guys, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So much to talk about. Let's start first, Patrice, with, Pompeo's mission is to fill in the details. And there's two things he's hoping to accomplish. One, he's got to find out exactly where these nuclear test sites are. He's got to get some more details about and proof from the North Koreans that they're starting to dismantle the nuclear arsenal. Also, the remains of these U.S. soldiers, about 200. I mean, those are the two main objectives. What do you think the chances are that he gets those two things accomplished?
Well, I think we've seen North Korea kind of comply when it comes to turning over hostages or releasing the, in the past. They've actually shown some goodwill gestures. And so I think with the soldiers, there's a likelihood that we'll see the remains brought back to the United States. I think the details in terms of the agreement and fleshing out what the framework should be going forward, that's, I think, going to be, I think we have to have a little bit of skepticism. I mean, we'll see if North Korea is willing to comply with that. I think we've seen that North Korea in the past, they've made lots of agreements and they've reneged on those agreements. And so, this is going to be important. I also think Secretary Pompeo is going to be trying to figure out who his counterpart is going to be. And then from there, you're going to have, this really is just the start of a long, arduous back and forth negotiations to bring this to conclusion.
It seems like it's Kim Jong-chol who has kind of been the point person for Pompeo. But, back in this country, Robin, if you look at the highlines from several newspapers, it seems that the rhetoric is, the landscape has changed since the Trump-Kim summit. Washington Post, North Korea planning to keep their arsenal. Wall Street Journal, North Korea expands key missile manufacturing plant. I mean, all of this is the backdrop of what history tells us, that we can't trust the North Koreans, Robin.
Oh, and there's good reason for that, as Condoleezza Rice can attest. You really can't trust them as far as they can throw them. It goes back generations. But, I'm still a glass half full kind of a guy. I want to believe that we can accomplish something. And if anyone can hold the feet to the fire, I really do believe it's Pompeo. So I'm glad that he's going over there. I think that, he's really going to hold his feet to the fire. And what I loved about how Pompeo did this was he said, if you're serious, send over these nukes now so that we can start the process of denuclearizing them.
Right.
So, I really just, if anyone can get it done, I think it's him. I think he's the right man for that job.
I would hope so as well, Patrice. But I want to get your reaction to a New York Times report, Patrice, that basically quoting outside experts that have had conversations with the Secretary of State, that he thinks that this summit is set up to fail, that his work in North Korea is set up to fail, that he's not optimistic that the North Koreans are going to negotiate. What do you make of that?
Well, it's the source is the New York Times, so I think there's already an agenda behind that, which is, to shed as much negative light on the potential for North Korea to do something that previous administrations have not done. I think if these sources are really accurate, then they'll certainly have some real concrete proof behind that. But I don't think Secretary Pompeo is going to take all of this time and effort to put into negotiations to really think, oh well, this is really going to fail.
Yeah.
He could certainly undermine his own work in other ways.
Yeah, you make a point about the New York Times. Yeah, you make a good point that it is the New York Times. But we'll see where this all goes. I do, though. I want you to listen, though, Robin, to Gordon Chang. He is one of our foremost China experts and North Korean experts here at Fox News and Fox Business. I want you to listen to what he said about the possibility of Kim Jong-un coming to New York.
And you don't talk about a second summit in New York in September between Trump and Kim, because Kim will just love that. I mean, that's legitimization. That further bolsters his rule back home. That's exactly what we should not be talking about at this particular time. But obviously administrations are.
Robin, he says that that's a horrible idea, but that's being talked about.
So, and I'm concerned, too, because it gives him the legitimization that right now we need more than just talk. We need some action. That's why Pompeo's going there, because in order for that to happen, we've got to get more action. We've got, I'm a special operations veteran, and I want to see more accomplished before we legitimize him in that way. So I would agree with that assessment that, more action, less talk.
All right. Well, we'll see how the Secretary of State fares while he's over there. He's spending the night, which is a first, actually, for him. Patrice, Robin, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.